ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Rain for most of the afternoon, but it's turned into a beautiful early evening here in Cleveland, and it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Tonight, it's the New York Yankees against the Cleveland Indians in the second game of a four-game set from Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. Yankees lost the first game of this series 5-1 yesterday, and you wonder, was it the offense continuing to struggle, or did Corey Kluber have a lot to do with it?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of both. Of course, Kluber can be very tough, and he was last night. We don't have time to show you all of his 11 strikeouts, only 2 of them, but this is indicative of how he was the whole ball game. Complete game win for Corey Kluber over the Yankees last night. In the 6th inning, the Indians broke it open against Sonny Gray. Yan Gomes hit probably the worst pitch that Gray threw all night. He pitched pretty well. And that was a 2-run double, made it 4-0, and Cleveland was on their way to a 5-1 win.
How about tonight? Tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by People's United Bank N.A. Trevor Bauer will get the start for the Indians, and for the Yankees, making his debut in the road grays of the New York Yankees, Jaime Garcia.
Garcia gets the start tonight for the Yankees, and it was his dream to pitch for the Yankees. Well, he's going to live that dream tonight. We see him here with the Braves earlier this year. One thing you will see, he has excellent breaking stuff. Facing left-handed hitters, right-handed hitters down and in with a cutter. He also has a pretty good sinker. And here's a strikeout of a brand name. That's Bryce Harper going down for the Washington Nationals. Garcia on the mound tonight for the Yankees.
And let's take a look at his resume. 9th Major League season, 67-52, 3.65 ERA, left shoulder surgery in 2014. He's made 7 career postseason starts, all with the Cardinals, and the Yankees got him for the Twins in exchange for Zach Littell and Dietrich Enns. Well, the Yankee offense has been struggling, that's for sure. So what is the problem? What's happening with them? When we get back, Meredith Moragovitz will tell us more right here on Yes.
Progressive Field, I'm Meredith Marakovitz. The Yankees have now lost 3 in a row, and they just can't seem to get the offense going. They've only managed 4 runs over that span, and it's not like they haven't had opportunity. They haven't been able to take advantage of that opportunity, though. Just 2 for 21 with runners in scoring position. I spoke with Matt Holliday earlier, and he said this team is not hitting the panic button just yet.
Sometimes you have kind of 6 or 7 guys that are searching a little bit for their swing, and just like sometimes you'll have 6 or 7 guys that are hot. So I'm not worried about it. We've got too much talent in the lineup to not score enough runs to get where we want to get.
I think it's important that we get it going, and I think part of it is just getting back to what we do and using the whole field, and sometimes guys get a little out of whack. And it's, your offense can survive if you have, maybe one big guy a little off. But when you have 2 and 3 guys, it's harder to score runs. So we need to get some guys going.
As expected, Aaron Judge, Matt Holliday, and Todd Frasier are all back in the lineup. Joe Girardi hoping a day off did the trick. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network when we get back. Michael Kay will be joined by Ken Singleton. Game 2 of the 4-game series coming your way after the break.
Sales event today by People's United Wealth Management, ready to help you set tomorrow in motion. By Coke Industries. At Coke, we make things that make the world better. And by Heineken, open your world. It's just a beautiful night here in Cleveland. Yankees have lost 3 in a row, so they try to snap out of this mini doldrums. Most of the blame goes to the offense, so we'll see what they can do against Trevor Bauer. Let's take a look at how it's set up. The Yankees starting lineup presented by Lexus. Brett Gardner in center, Clint Frazier's in left, Aaron Judge is in right. That's the top 3. Gary Sanchez, last 8 games, 9 for 26. He'll catch and clean up. Batting 5th, the shortstop, Didi Gregorius. Matt Holliday, the DH, hit 6th. Batting 7th, first baseman Chase Headley. Todd Frazier's at 3rd, batting 8th. And batting 9th, up playing second base, it's Ronald Torres.
On the mound for Cleveland, 26-year-old right-handed Trevor Bauer gets the start tonight. We'll take a look at his numbers on the year. 9-8 record, 5.25 ERA, more than a hit per inning for Trevor Bauer. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Well, he's seeking 500 for his career. He comes in tonight with a record of 39 wins and 40 losses. And he comes from a Hart High School in California. Got a great tradition there. Players like Bob Walk, Todd Zeal, James Shields, Kevin Millar, and current Cub Mike Montgomery all went to Hart High School in California. And 7 days of rest. He was scheduled to pitch the final game of Boston. It got rained out. They kept Kluber on his normal rest to pitch last night. So it's been 7 days since Trevor Bauer has been on the mound for the Cleveland Indians.
So he'll try to make it 2 in a row for the Indians. Now we'll take a look at the Indians defense behind Bauer. You've got Brantley in left. Really a tremendous center fielder, Austin Jackson in center, Brandon Geyer over in right. In the infield, it's Urshela, Lindor, Ramirez, and Santana. That's third to first. Roberto Perez behind the plate, and Trevor Bauer's on the mound. Nice crowd here at Progressive Field. So the Yankee offense has disappeared. Last 5 games, they're 1-4, and the offense hitting 181. So certainly Corey Kluber was not the tonic for that. Maybe Trevor Bauer with the 7th highest ERA in the American League among qualifying starters. Might be. Gardner's ready. Bauer is ready. Let's do it here in Cleveland. First pitch is a strike, and we're underway. Ted Barrett is the home plate ump. Angel Hernandez at first, John Tumpane at second, Sean Barber is over at third.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that anybody would look a lot more hittable than Corey Kluber did last night. And one thing you'll notice from Trevor Bauer, he falls behind hitters quite a bit. He walks almost a little over 3 per game. So the Yankees have to be patient, and when he gets one towards the middle of the plate, got to jump on it.
Count 2-1. Gardner was 0 for yesterday against Kluber, and that snapped his 14-game hitting streak, which was the longest streak in the big leagues. 2-1. Slap the other way. Brantley toward the line, makes the play, basket catch for the first out. Let's look at the game time weather presented by City MD. Feeling under the weather? Just walk into City MD Urgent Care. It's 71 degrees tonight, 58% humidity, a lot of wind, 23 miles per hour, and the forecast is mostly cloudy.
As Michael said, heavy storms earlier today, and you know, looking out over the lake, you can see how the wind's blowing. It's blowing from left to right, so you get one up in the air towards right field, you might get a boost.
Here's Clint Frasier, and there's a strike. Frasier had a double yesterday against Kluber. That was the Yankees' first hit. And it was leading off an inning, but the Yankees couldn't get him home. The only run, a Gary Sanchez home run.
Outside of the home run, Frasier was the only Yankee to get as far as second base last night. That's how dominant Kluber was. In fact, Frasier, 25 hits in the major leagues, 14 of them for extra bases. So he runs the bases well, and he's got excellent speed.
Tipped into the glove of Perez, 2 away. So here's Aaron Judge and some Judge fans here in Cleveland at Progressive Field.
Yeah, we're going with the blue robes or purple. No.
Missed outside, 1-0. Since the All-Star break, 11 for 64. That's 164. Averages under 300.
Now, Judge does lead the Yankees in multi-hit games, but he's only had 1 since the All-Star break. As Michael told you, there were numbers since the break. And that was, I believe, July 18th against the Twins.
Line and a base hit to left field. So Judge with a 2-out single. Yankees are hoping the day off allowed him to collect his thoughts, give him a little bit of a rest because he's been going at it since the All-Star break pretty hard.
Yeah, there's a hanging breaking ball in the middle of the plate, and he jumps on it. He's going to have to do that more often. You know, we talked about it last night. Corey Kluber's not the type of pitcher you're going to bust out of the snub unless he's really having an off night. So Judge with his first swing of the night, picks up a solid single to left field.
Here's Gary Sanchez. In the first 130 games of his big league career, Sanchez has hit 37 home runs. And what a pair of rookies for the Yankees. Aaron Judge, in his first 130 games, has hit 38 home runs. Now, Gary's not a rookie this year, but he finished second in the Rookie of the Year voting with just 2 months of play. Judge is considered a rookie and seems a shoo-in to win that award.
As young as they are, they're going to be around for a long, long time. And if they can continue on with those type of home run numbers, there's going to be some records set.
1-1. Seems like a bigger crowd than last night, which was a smidge over 28,000. Much nicer evening. Although it is the beginning of August, there's almost an autumnal feel of crispness in the air tonight.
Yeah, last week I was in West Palm Beach, Florida. I feel like I need a winter coat here tonight.
Judge inches off first, held there by Santana.
Bauer falling behind on counts, which can be dangerous to the big hitters.
High pop-up, left side. Urshela will make the play for the final out. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. Jaime Garcia ready to make his Yankee debut. Indians nothing, or Yankees nothing, Indians coming to bat. His turn against this Indian lineup. Francisco Lindor, Brandon Guyer, and Michael Brantley up top. Jose Ramirez, the second baseman, cleans up. Then it's Edwin Encarnacion at DH. Carlos Santana at first. The bottom third of the order, former Yankee Austin Jackson, Roberto Perez, and Giovanni Urshela, the third baseman for bat night.
Jaime Garcia making his first ever start against the Cleveland Indians. You can see his numbers on the season. 5-7 overall. That's with Atlanta and Minnesota. 4.29 ERA. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. He's on a roll since the All-Star break. He is 3-0. And this guy has battled back from 3 major arm surgeries: Tommy John surgery, thoracic outlet syndrome, and labrum surgery. And his last game with the Braves, he hit a grand slam home run. And they were so enthralled, they traded him 3 days later to the Minnesota Twins.
Probably thinking can't get much better than this. He made one start for the Twins. And now here's starting for the Yankees as the Twins pivoted quickly. For a moment they thought they were in it. Then they started to slip a little bit in the Central. They said, well, let's get what we can for Garcia now. So he made one start for the Twins and now starting for the Yankees. And he's the first pitcher to make 3 straight starts for 3 different teams since Gus Weill back in 1885.
I haven't heard of Gus, so I know that one game of those 3 that he pitched, it was a 19-hitter, and he lost 17-6. A complete game, no less.
Of course. And Lindor walks. There's got to be a level of nervousness, anxiousness for Jaime Garcia.
Well, I'm sure Sonny Gray had the same feelings last night, but if he can pitch a similar type of game that Sonny Gray did, and the Yankee offense has any way of coming through, there's Sonny, who had his Yankee debut last night. The Yankees could get this one in the win column.
One thing that's admirable about Garcia, he doesn't give up home runs in an era when the balls fly out of the ballpark. 119 and 2/3 innings, just 12 home runs this year. And he deals a strike to Brandon Guyer.
Now, over the years, we've seen Guyer primarily with the Tampa Bay Rays, and he would play or start mostly against the left-handed pitchers. He's in there tonight, but this year he's only hitting .208 against lefties. Not doing his usual job against the left-handers. And another thing he's not doing, he's not getting hit by pitches like he did last year. This year he's been hit 6 times, which is quite a bit. I wouldn't be hit 6 times. I don't think I ever was hit 6 times in a year. But last year he got hit by a pitch 31 times. His bruises had bruises.
Fly ball, left center. Clint Frasier makes the play. 1 away.
You notice the ball kept drifting towards center field on Frasier as he went after it. The wind got a hold of it. And as we said, Michael told you, a strong wind blowing from left to right. It's kind of coming off the lake, which is a few blocks from here.
Those flags yesterday didn't move at all.
Yeah. Today you can see we have 50 states.
Here's Michael Brantley. Lefty, lefty. Strike. Garcia was born in Reynosa, Mexico, which is about a 5-minute drive to Texas, and his family took that drive when he was 12 years old and moved to Mission, Texas, so that he could get a better education and go to a high school that could accentuate his sports talent. He attended Sharyland High School in Mission.
He was an all-state pitcher. One thing you like about him right away, he works pretty quickly. You got to watch Lindor. He's stolen 7 out of 8 this year. And he's one of those guys that wears the oven mitt. I thought they outlawed that. I remember Gardner used to wear it. He doesn't wear it anymore.
Grounded to third. There's 1. And there's 2. It's a 5-6-3 double play, doubling up Brantley. No runs, no hits, no errors. And because of the DP, nobody left on base. Let's go to the second. 0-0. Yankees Indians here on Yes. Toyota. Prius Prime is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. We asked which American League division race will be closer at season's end and why, East or Central. Carm Yanks 05 says the AL East will be much closer because you have 3 contenders there, and the Indians will soon pull away from the Royals. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius Prime to keep the conversation going. Pitch inside to Gregorius, 1-0.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that answer because there's more, even the teams that are, the Orioles and the Blue, they can make trouble for you. And if you get them on the wrong night, they're going to beat you. I think when you go to the Central Division, the White Sox have traded a lot of their better players now, trying to boost their farm system. They're 17 games out. The Tigers are not Tigers-like anymore. And the Twins have been fading as well. It's kind of settled into a 2-team race in the Central.
And the Royals, when they had their 9-game winning streak, oh, by the way, the Indians were having a 9-game winning streak, so they really couldn't do much. They stayed close. Grounded up the middle. Lindor. Now, Trevor Bauer is a little bit of an odd bird, just the way he prepares for a game, Kenny. Because before the game, he gets his arm kind of warmed up, and then he goes like foul line to foul line with long toss. He feels he has to long toss, and this is what he does before the inning. He fake throws, and then his first warm-up, he runs up and then runs down and fires as hard as he can.
And now, supposedly he's been doing that routine for years.
Yes. Yeah. When he was in high school, Kenny, he would take a bucket of baseballs out to the local field where beyond the outfield fence there was tennis courts, and he would just stand there and throw the ball up against the wall in front of the tennis court. And when he was asked, well, why didn't you have somebody just catch, he said, I didn't have friends. So he's a little bit of a loner. He has his thoughts about pitching, and he does not deviate from them, and it's one of the reasons he probably got traded by the Arizona Diamondbacks after they made him a first-round pick in 2011. Grounded to first, Santana's there to retire Holiday, and then he had an opportunity to pitch in the postseason, and in the first inning, his finger starts to bleed because he's a drone enthusiast, and leading into the start, he was trying to repair a drone, cut the finger, had stitches, thought he could go, and he couldn't because the stitches busted open and he was bleeding. So he wasted a great opportunity to do something special for the Indians in a big game. And that was game 3 of the ALCS. And of a less scientific nature, he must, before every one of his starts, eat a piece of cherry pie baked by his sister Gracie.
It's quite a routine. What time does his game day routine start? Like 8 o'clock in the morning?
You would think.
Yeah.
He's very much into biomechanics. He studies it and believes that his way you will not get injured. You subtract the drone.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. It's pitching coach Mickey Callaway, whose thoughts must sometimes be secondary.
Yeah, a guy like this wants to pretty much do his own thing. The interesting thing, though, Kenny, is usually guys like this, they're allowed to be like this because they're lights out.
Yeah.
But he comes in sporting a 9-8 record, 5.25 ERA. He's got a good arm. Here's the 3-2. Hit sharply, second base. Ramirez bobbled it, but then flips it to Santana for the final out as the Yankees go down in order. We'll go to the bottom of the second.
Jaime Garcia were teammates in St. Louis for 7 years. When I asked Holiday for the scouting report on Garcia, he told me he's a great person, great teammate, works extremely hard, very dedicated to his craft. This is a guy that is disciplined. He then said all of that good guy stuff aside, he's a left-handed pitcher who has great stuff. Not only will he keep us in games, he believes that he can dominate games, that he has that type of stuff. He's pitched in a lot of big games in the postseason and believes that he is a veteran, an experienced veteran in that staff. He's looking forward to see what he can do this evening.
And I heard the interview that Meredith did on the pregame show where Holiday got a call. He was just getting out of the shower, and he said, we talked, but not that much. He said, I figured when he called me, they got traded to the Yankees, and he figured right.
And Michael Garcia said when he did his first press conference after becoming a Yankee that he really picked Holiday's brain about the organization, whether or not he would like it, and Holiday said, you are going to love this place. It's first class all the way around. And so far, so good for Garcia. He seems to be fitting in just fine.
And it's a good move for Garcia because he's with a team that has a chance to win every time he pitches, and he's got 2 months to go, and he's a free agent at the end of the year.
And Michael, a pretty cool story. His grandfather was a huge Yankees fan. He passed away when he was 13 years old, but before he did so, he said, you are going to pitch for the New York Yankees. So when he called his mom was a little bit emotional knowing what her father had said to Garcia when he was younger. So it was a nice moment for the family.
Well, he's inning in the third so far in his first game. 3 infielders on the left side for the Yankees with Encarnacion at the plate. And he fouls it back, 2-2.
I think when you get a chance, you leave a team. The Twins are kind of still in it, and the Braves are kind of rebuilding. But when you go to a team that's a legitimate chance to make the playoffs, I think that's got to energize any player.
Let's take a look at our cold hard facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. 215 home runs since 2012, and that's the most in the majors, leading the Orioles' Chris Davis by 1. Swing and a miss. Encarnacion on strikes.
First strikeout of the night for Garcia. Encarnacion has been struggling a little bit lately. He's now 4 for his last 25. Garcia comes right at you. I always felt that pitchers that work quickly, they were in an attack mode. And it was up to the hitter, step out, slow him down, and try and dictate the at-bat on your side.
Breaking ball strike, backdoor. Hits the outside corner, 0-1 to Santana. Santana had a good July, hitting .325, 247 overall.
Santana's always had a pretty good batting eye. He's in the top 10 in walks. That's why from time to time Terry Francona would bat him in a leadoff spot because of his on-base percentage. He's not having his best year offensively, but still has that good eye at the plate.
He and Francona have a very close relationship. Before each game, he has Francona kiss the barrel of the bat, and then he will lift Francona's hat and he will kiss Francona's bald head. Leo DeRocha, I'm sure, used to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Earl Weaver. If I'd have him kiss my bat, yeah. Now, didn't Derek Jeter have Don Zimmer hold his bat? But yeah, he did.
2-2. 3-2.
Here's the example of Santana running another deep count, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And a walk. I think that Santana got word of my displeasure with his choice of the pants over the knees, so now he's got a bell-bottom light.
Big difference than last night's version of his uniform. Let's see what he comes out with tomorrow night. Oh, it's a little chillier tonight too. Huh?
It was Austin Jackson. Brings a 9-game hitting streak into tonight's game. 15 for 35 and very tough against lefties. A .343 average against left-handed pitchers, and that's 9th in the American League. Came up through the Yankee system and was part of the Curtis Granderson deal, where the Yankees got Granderson from the Tigers.
That was a good changeup from Garcia. Had Jackson well out in front. 8th round pick of the Yankees back in 2005, but he's moved around since then. Detroit, Seattle, the Cubs, and the White Sox. He's been on the north and south sides of Chicago. Yeah, there you go.
Much different than yesterday. And much better. 2-1. Hit sharply and past the diving Frasier and down the left field line. Clint Frasier retrieves in the corner. Santana's being waved home. Here's the throw from Didi. Here's the play. He's safe. Moving to third is Jackson. 1-0 Indians.
Well, Austin Jackson continues his assault on left-handed pitching, down and in, maybe not far in, and maybe not far enough down. Off the glove of Frasier. Now the race was on here with Santana from first base trying to score from first with 2 outs. The throw to the plate. Watch him get that left hand just in there ahead of the tag up on the arm near the tricep. And Santana scores all the way from first. This is how close it was at the plate. Throw bounces up around chest high. There's the tag, but Santana's in there.
Santana showed some speed, Kenny, for a big man.
Yeah, he did.
So a double, and Jackson moves to third on the throw. And here's Roberto Perez. And that one gets past Sanchez. Here comes Jackson. He'll score 2-0 Indians.
That to me looks like a pass ball. The Yankees lead the league in pass balls.
Looked like he got distracted from the bunt, Kenny.
Well, not only that, but if he turns the glove over the other way, he's got a better chance of catching it. Maybe not cleanly, but at least knocking it down. So a pass ball allows the, see how if he turns the glove the other way, just flips it over, got a better chance of making the play.
That's 12 pass balls for Sanchez, who is having much less of an effective defensive year than he had last year. Much less. On pass balls, on wild pitches, not throwing as well as he did last year. The 2 months that he played last year, he was so dominant behind the plate. He was a force behind the plate as well as with the bat. But this year he has struggled behind the plate. And that pass ball literally cost him a run. So 3-2 on Perez. This all happened with 2 outs. 3-2 and a walk. Third walk issued by Garcia.
Number 39, Giovanni Urshela.
So back to the top of the lineup. Nope, it's still number 9. Lindor is on deck. It's Giovanni Urshela.
Started the year in the minor leagues.
Hit 266 with Columbus, 6 homers and 34 ribbies. Columbus, the Indians' AAA affiliate.
Yeah, 76 games down at AAA. And the young man from Colombia, Cartagena.
Grounded in the hole and off a diving Gregorius and into left field. So a base hit for Urshela as Perez moves to second. And here comes Larry Rothschild to talk with Garcia.
Just going to give him a little bit of a breather here.
Must be difficult for a pitching coach with a new pitcher. You see this on Yesmo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers, because there's no the points to get back to. He hasn't seen him enough. Obviously watched a lot of video on him. But you have to watch him pitch in a game, Kenny.
Yeah, well, he's a veteran pitcher, and maybe just a little reminder that, you know, I think this, in particular, when you see this sort of thing, when a pitching coach goes after the man with 2 outs in an inning and an inning that's continued longer than it should, it's primarily like the boxing, standing 8 count. You know, give you a little bit of a breather here. Get this next guy, and you're out of the inning. Give your offense a chance.
So now here is Lindor, who walked in the first inning. First and second, 2 men out, 2-0 Indians, bottom of the second inning. In the dirt, 1-0.
There's one good thing for Garcia here. All the pitches have been down. He's missed down. You can see that as Michael, those numbers, Lindor's been hot. Got a home run here last night. He's hitting well against left-handed pitching, switch hitter.
Line and caught by Gregorius to end the inning. Beautiful play by Gregorius on the hard-hit liner by Lindor. 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 pass ball, and 2 men left on base. And only a great play ended the inning. 2-0 Indians as we move to the 3rd. The Unlimited Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. Blake Snell, who's been struggling for the Rays, option to AAA Durham. Max Scherzer expected to start Monday. Remember, he left that game after 1 inning and a home run with neck spasms. And Addison Russell placed on the 10-day DL with the Cubs, right foot sprain.
That was a home run that Scherzer hit.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. Here's Todd Frasier, 1 hit in his last 19 at bats. And he takes high from Bauer. There's a strike.
Yeah, the Yankees need these 3 guys to get going. Those 2 and the man at the plate, Frasier, to get going. To recreate that high-powered offense they had early in the season. Yankees still 2nd in the league in runs scored, but it's been kind of inconsistent.
Two and 2. Frasier, Torreyes, and Gardner. 8-9-1 in the Yankees order against Trevor Bauer. Yankees have 1 hit against Bauer, a 2-out single to left field by Aaron Judge. And there's a single, at least for Frasier, could be more. Jackson cuts the ball off. Frasier makes a big turn, stops right there. Leadoff single for the Yankee third baseman.
Oh, there's a start. 1 for your last 1. What you mentioned, he did 1 for 19.
Batting ninth now for number 74, second baseman Ronald Torreyes.
Now, talking to Joe Girardi today about situational hitting, which he has not been pleased with, he said, if a ground ball is going to get you a run, I'm not saying that you give yourself up and just tap the ball on the ground. He said, but you got to think up the middle. You can't try to hit a home run in those situations. He said, because how many times do you hit a home run when you try to hit a home run? He said, I don't care if it's 3, 4, 5 in the order. He said if you think up the middle, the ball could still go out, but usually you think up the middle, you can put the ball on the ground. A run should be able to score from third base.
All you have to do is get it by the pitcher.
Let's see if they turn two here. There's one. And they just get Torres. 6-4-3 double play.
Jose Ramirez in the middle there makes a nice turn, gets rid of the ball quickly. The ball wasn't hit all that hard. We know that Torres can run. Got rid of it. Didn't really step into the throw. Just that was all arm strength. And got there just ahead of Torres at first base. So Jose Ramirez showing off his versatility. He was at third base last night, second base tonight. He could also play the outfield. And man, can he hit. He's been hitting all season long.
Here's Brett Gardner. One and one. Gardner with a fly ball to left to open up the game. He's 0 for 1.
And you've had a streak broken like Gardner did last night, 14-gamer. Somebody like Corey Kluber breaks your streak. I mean, you're still a hot hitter. Chance to get another one started tonight. You know, but we mentioned Bauer's the type of pitcher falls behind on counts, walks a few hitters. Gardner, of course, has a pretty good eye. And right now he's hitting with the count in his favor. 2 balls and a strike.
Chop toward first. Santana makes the play, and that will do it. The end of each inning, if Santana has the ball, he fires it to Lindor. We go to the bottom of the third. Brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. 2 more games against the Indians tomorrow night on Yes, and then Sunday afternoon on Yes. Monday is an off day. Then Toronto hosts the Yankees for 3 all-night games, all on Yes. Then the Red Sox come to town Friday and Saturday on Yes, and then a Sunday night game on ESPN. Geyer leads off and hits one sharply in the hole for a base hit. So leadoff single here in the bottom of the third. Brantley shows bunt, takes outside. The 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1. Kenny mentioned the ailments that Garcia has gone through. Tommy John surgery in 2008. There's a base hit to right field off the bat of Brantley. Guy around second. He's going to third. The throw from Judge goes off of Geyer into the stands. Geyer will score. Brantley will move to second, and it's 3-0 Indians.
Second night in a row, an overthrow at third base has led to a Cleveland run. Judge makes a good throw. The ball hits the runner and ricochets away. But second time that a ball has gotten away at third base. Last night, Frasier airmailed Torreyes at third. Tonight's a pretty good throw. It just hits the runner. You see Frazier's reaction. The ball ends up in the seats, and Cleveland has another run. Cleveland, first to third for Geyer. And it's now 3-0.
So an E9. And the pitch to Ramirez is low, 1-0.
So the Yankees have had a pass ball lead to a run, and now an error lead to a run.
And that on the heels of the 3-error first inning yesterday, which Joe Girardi said the worst inning of baseball that we've played defensively all year. And when you're struggling offensively, Kenny, it's almost imperative you play a clean game defensively.
Yeah, you can't give runs away. Although, you know, that wasn't a bad throw. It's just that it was a bad result when it hit the runner. It gave Frasier no opportunity to make the stop on it at third base.
You know, Girardi was asked how different a manager as Terry Francona is from when he was the Red Sox manager. He said, well, the Red Sox are more of a power team. He said this team's going to take the extra base and put pressure on defense, and that's what they do.
Indians have a very good pitching staff too. Bullpen strong. They lead the league in bullpen ERA. It's under 3. And they've got some solid starters led by Kluber. They could very well end up in the World Series again. There's Kluber. They could end up in the World Series again this year. Give it another shot.
Bounced up there. 3-2.
Joe Girardi mentioning that, talking about Francona and his team. Francona, 12 consecutive years winning record. Joe Girardi on the other side of the field, 10 consecutive years of winning record.
One of the hallmarks of the way Francona manages, he gets very close with his players. He's almost best buddies with Dustin Pedroia. Still to this day. You could go into the Indians clubhouse and playing cribbage with his coaches and the players. Always joking around. So he tries to get a relationship with them. Most of the managers in baseball seem to be more clinicians than that.
A little bit more removed.
Yes. Tap slowly back to Garcia. Fields gets the out at first as Brantley moves to third.
I think the mark of a good manager, I'll see if you agree with me here, Michael, is not so much when a team's playing well, because you don't have much to do. I mean, the pitching's going well, you're hitting, you're scoring runs, you win it. It's how quickly you can turn things around when a team is kind of struggling. How you can keep that atmosphere of winning in your clubhouse, even though your team has maybe lost 3, 4, 5 in a row. How you can get that clicking again.
Yankees bring the infield in for Encarnacion. Runner at third, 1 out. 3-0 Cleveland. Chop foul into the seats.
You're talking about being buddies with the. I had to smile a little bit because sometimes as a team we felt it was us against Earl. He was not friendly at times.
High fly ball. Judge will make the catch. Here's the throw. Here's the play. In there on the sac fly is Brantley. Gardner smartly pointed to Judge to make the catch because Judge had the better arm, but it was too deep. Brantley has too much speed. It's 4-0 Indians.
It was still an impressive throw from fairly deep right center field. As you give Encarnacion a run batted in. Encarnacion thinks, well, this is easy. I got myself an RBI. You see Brantley tagging at third. He's got pretty good speed. And Judge actually made it a little closer than maybe it should have been or we thought it was going to be.
Santana takes outside, 1-0. One.
And one of my favorite Earl stories was we lost about 4 or 5 in a row. He's really ticked off. And he calls a meeting before the game. And as he's ripping into us, he stops. Then he says, you know, all this is my fault. Speaking of himself. I picked you guys. I thought you could win.
Strike 3. Santana down looking. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error. Nobody left on base. It's 4-0 Indians. Yankees baseball on the ass is brought to you in part by Mazda. Driving matters. By City MD. When you need a doctor, just walk into City MD. Urgent care. And by your Tri Honda dealers. Hurry your local Tri Honda dealer for great deals on the 2017 models. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Bruce. Joe Girardi and Meredith Maragovitz took a visit to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame today, and that will be on the Joe Girardi Show after the game on Sunday.
Have you ever had a chance to go on tour?
I have.
I have, and you can stay in there for hours. It's so entertaining. We had an off day here last year, or maybe the year before. I don't know. It was fantastic.
Audi scoreboard 4-0 Indians, so the Yankee offense has to break out of this now, down 4-0.
They've been getting into some favorable counts, but they haven't been able to do anything with them so far. And I told you, Bauer falls behind a lot. He's behind right here.
Popped up. Lindor makes the play. You know, positive sign for the Yankees is you see Greg Bird walking around the clubhouse, doing some work on the field without even a trace of a limp after having the surgery on his ankle. And he looks good, and Joe Girardi thinks that he might be able to get back, and the Yankee organization does as well this year.
Well, that means he might be going out on rehab pretty soon. I think one thing you have to remember, minor league seasons are drawn to a close, so they have to get him into games pretty soon here. Wake-up call there for Aaron Judge. You know, we talked about Judge has only had one multi-hit game since the All-Star break, but he's off to a good start tonight. He got to hit his first time up. That hit should have jumped him back over the 300 mark. He started the game at 299.
And he's at 301.
There you go. That was a key at bat. I think one thing that's happened to Judge, we haven't seen him hitting the ball to the opposite field with authority like we did in the first half of the season. And when that stroke comes back, you know, let's go back to May the 5th in Chicago against the Cubs, and this is a rocket that he hit to the opposite field. One of the hardest hit balls of the season in the major leagues, and it was a double. We haven't seen that type of hitting lately. I remember we were doing that game. That's the game that Brett Gardner hit the home run in the 9th inning to win it.
And Judge works a walk. There's a shot of Bird and Castro running earlier. And you realize how valuable those guys are. And as nice a job as Torreyes has done, Castro is a power hitter, just a different sort of hitter than Torreyes. So you miss him in the lineup. It lengthens the lineup. And if you had Bird, all of a sudden you have that lefty back to break up all the righty backs. And that's how the Yankees laid it out when they planned this team at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, you mentioned Torreyes. He's done a good job, but he's more of a complimentary player. You know, Castro's he made the All-Star team.
Sanchez fouled out to Urshela in the first inning. And there's a strike. Girardi scouting report on Bauer today. Curveball is the pitch that gets you out. You have to look for it high. He said, but if he's dropping it low in the zone, he becomes a very difficult pitcher. High fly ball, right field. Geyer backpedals and makes the play on the warning track.
Yeah, the wind got a hold of it, and he had to backpedal at the end to make the catch. Sanchez didn't hit that quite as well as he would have liked. If he did, I'd been in the first or second row. There's a look at the flags. It's a little bit towards right center field here at Progressive Field.
Well, here's Didi Gregorius. Grounded is short. That was in the second. We're in the top of the 4th inning. It's 4-0 Indians. Second game of this 4-game set. Second game of a 7-game road trip for the Yankees. 1-0.
Didi hit the ball well a couple of times last night. Didn't have anything to show for it. A great month of July with 7 home runs.
Two and 0.
Once again, a hitter ahead on the count. It's when you're looking at breakout of hitting slumps. Discipline has to be high. Don't chase pitches out of the zone.
.54 pitches and right down the middle, 27 and 27 balls and strikes, which is not great. But the Yankees haven't been able to capitalize. That one is ripped to right field, a base hit for Gregorius, as Judge will stop at second. Geyer gets the ball in. Yankees' 3rd hit of the night.
Well, somebody took advantage of a good hitter's count. And Didi was hitting .298. He too might have jumped back over 300 or up to it. Solid single to right field. Judge can only go 90 feet. Ball was hit that hard.
That single brings him up to an even 300.
There you go.
And here's Matt Holliday. Holliday grounded sharply to Santana in the 2nd inning. Matt 6 for his last 34. And since coming up the DL, not the same player as he was previous to the DL stint.
Yeah, I think he kind of falls into the same category as Judge, because early in the year we saw him hitting the ball well to the opposite field.
First 57 games, 284. Last 30 games, 142.
And that particularly works well at Yankee Stadium for right-handed hitters.
Popped up. Santana makes the play in foul territory for the final out of the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 4-0 Indians.
For tonight's injury report, brought to you by Montefiore, doing more in state-of-the-art healthcare. Aaron Hicks continues to rehab with the Rail Riders, including tonight. It was his third game. He is 2 for 8 with a double, a run scored, and a stolen base. Joe Girardi said it could take a little bit more time for Hicks to get back because he needs to get reps from both the left side and the right side of the plate. I also spoke to Girardi today about what happens when Greg Bird does come back. Is he automatically your everyday first baseman? And he just said, we're going to have to wait and see. He feels as though Chase Headley, with the exception of yesterday's error, has played a really nice first base, and he's one of the guys that has actually swung the bat pretty well since the All-Star break.
Audi scoreboard 4-0 Indians, and the one problem, let's say if you want to platoon the two of them, Headley's a much better hitter from the left side than he is from the right side.
Yeah, there's going to be some difficult decisions that have to be made as to who's playing. Sometimes you go by the numbers and you look who does well against certain pitchers.
And Kenny, Joe Girardi always says things oftentimes have a way of working themselves out. We're not going to make a decision until we're forced to do so.
That's very true.
Now, they will not tell us a decision that they have made, but I'm sure that they have to go through every single eventuality of what might happen.
There's no doubt about it. They've thought about it, Michael.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Jackson down on strikes.
You know, I thought that was a particularly big blow to the Yankees because Greg Bird, coming out of spring training, might have been the best player in all of baseball with the 8 home runs and the 17 extra base hits. And you know, you plug that sort of left-handed hitting offense into any lineup in Major League Baseball, in particular at Yankee Stadium, you got a chance to put some real numbers up.
Also, in answering that question, Joe Girardi had to go to school on what happened to Brian Cashman. There's a ground to the third. Todd Frasier over to Headley to retire Perez. A couple of weeks ago, Yankee GM was asked what would happen when Hicks comes back. And he very quickly said, well, Clint Frazier's going to be sent down. Oh, he received such grief and from fans and from the media. And I asked him about it a couple of days ago because as he changed your mind, he said, let's put it this way. I should have said, we'll make that decision when we have to. He said, you know, why say anything early like that? Because it might not even come to the point that you have to make the decision.
Yeah, somebody might hit 400.
Right. A lot of those balls from Jaime Garcia today.
Sanchez says he's okay. Took that one off the chest protector, maybe a little bit off the mask as well. Home plate umpire Ted Barrett gives him a little time, brushes off home plate.
Came up again, just like it did on Roma.
Yeah, that's a stinger. Ooh, yeah, right underneath the mask there, around the collarbone.
Garcia, his first Yankee start, looking for 1-2-3 inning here in the fourth. Two and two.
Good change up on the swing and the miss.
Strike three, Urshela down looking. So a 1-2-3 inning for Garcia here in the fourth. We're going to go to the fifth. It's 4-0 Indians. And really, do you want to?
Well, you're trying to hope to contain him, that's all.
We go to the 5th inning, bottom third of the Yankees order against Trevor Bauer. Yankees are down 4-0. They've had 3 hits against the Indians right-hander. Foul back. GMC scoreboard 4-4-0, leading 0-3-1.
Headley was not ready. He called timeout. Ted Barrett granted it. Bauer didn't look too happy about it.
Drop a breaking ball in for a strike, 0-2.
And it's that pitch Joe Girardi was talking about.
Headley grounded to second. That was in the second game of this 4-game set.
We talked about how well Headley's been swinging the bat. He's hit over 320 since the middle of June.
Swing and a miss. Headley down on strikes.
Approaching the plate now for the Yankees, the third baseman.
Joe Girardi talked about if he gets the curveball down, and this one, man, good drop on that pitch. 12-6.
Here's Todd Frasier, one of the 3 Yankee hits. Single to left center in the 3rd. Yankees need to get him going. Before that single, 1 for 19. Done a good job at 3rd. He's really a plus defender. Another breaking ball. 0-2. So Bauer's getting a little bit of a groove now, working quickly, throwing strikes.
See, Perez wanted the fastball up, a teaser. Changed the eye level. Bauer shook off it. How many pitches? He shook off 3 pitches. Now he's ready. Look out. Frasier had something to say. Up and in, puts him in the spin cycle.
Fly ball right field. Geyer back on the track at the wall. See ya. A home run for Frasier the other way. And the Yankees are on the board. It is 4-1 Indians.
Nice little comeback after an up and in fastball. The ultimate revenge for a hitter. We talked about the wind blowing to right. When he hit it, I didn't think it had enough, but it kept going. His hook kind of down and away. Frasier goes with it. Got the good wood on it, but the Yankees have a run on the scoreboard.
Torres takes outside, 1-0.
You can see Geyer's effort, but it's not enough. Thank you very much.
Line drive, a base hit down the right field line. Cutting over is Geyer. He'll play it and fire it in, holding Torres to a single. Nice play by Geyer.
Good play by Geyer, and maybe a good decision by Torres. When you're down, you don't want to, if you're going to take an extra base, you want to be very, very sure you're going to make it. Geyer has a good arm. The throw was offline, but by the time he threw it, Torres decided to hold at first base. A good play. You're supposed to know your home ballpark, and Geyer does a good job here playing the carom off the wall and getting the ball back in. Obviously, he was good in geometry in school. Playing the angles here very well. Here's Torres, came out of there hard and decides to hold up.
That'll bring up Gardner. He's 0 for 2. And a strike. Maybe that pitch up and in unnerved Bauer just a bit because of the way Frasier reacted, and maybe it pumped up Frasier just a bit. Oh, 2 on Gardner. And the 0-2.
And that got a piece of Gardner. Bounced up off the plate or the home plate area. And Gardner's going to have to walk this one off. Ooh, right on the chin. Usually the chin music comes for the pitchers, not self-inflicted. Here's another look. Looked like a change up down, and he just got a piece of it with the bat, and then he got a piece of him.
One and 2. So home run by Sanchez yesterday, home run by Frasier today. He's only scoring of late. Both solo shots. Now Bauer can be hit. Only 6 of his 20 starts were quality starts, and quality starts are 6 innings pitched, giving up 3 or fewer runs. That's 30%, and that's the lowest of any pitcher with at least 20 starts in the big leagues.
I don't see what's quality about it. What's it, a 4.5 over year on
Yeah.
it, if you give it 3? It's 7 innings? Yeah, I can see it.
Now, you see the first time through the order, you hit 242 against him. Second time, 268. Now's the time when you start to get to him. 321 third time through the order.
And I'm sure that Terry Francona is aware of those numbers as well.
Runner goes. Ground ball, base hit through the vacated hole. Nice baseball by the Yankees. Little hit and run. Lindor covered, and Gardner slashed it right through as Torres moves to third.
No Gardner. After taking one to the chin, you can see Lindor coming over to cover with the runner on the move, and it's perfectly hit through the hole. Torres cruises into third. Gardner starts a new hitting streak. And he's still checking out the chin. Hey, the stash is gone.
Well, I guess he kept it until the hitting streak was over.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Now here's where the Yankees have to start producing. You know, runners in scoring position. They got a situation here.
And that's a beautiful play by Urshela. Fires home, and he gets Torres. What a play by the Indians' third baseman.
But that is a highlight reel play and showing a very strong arm. Urshela at third. There's an accurate throw to Perez at the plate. Cuts down Torres. And if you can watch the end of this play and where Urshela actually ends up, his momentum's going to take him almost all the way to the wall. Ball almost got over him, and then an off-balance throw right on the money. And the fans here in Cleveland still giving him an ovation.
That's a pretty special play.
We take a look at it on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. That's one of the best plays you're going to see all year.
Just to thread the needle like that with the throw, Kenny, and not hit Torres in the back or the back of the head. Just a great play.
Or just throw it away.
Yeah. First and second now, 2 outs. Here's Aaron Judge. Been on base 2 times, a single and a walk. And a strike.
Good play, kind of electrified the crowd here at Progressive Field.
Oh, 2. Big crowd here at Progressive Field. Many standing, looking for the strikeout. An 0-2 count on Aaron Judge. Gardner at second. Frasier's at first. 2 men out. 1 run in. We're in the 5th. 4-1 Indians. 1-2.
Change up in the dirt.
Breaking ball misses inside as Judge turned away. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Top of the 5th, 4-1 Indians. Big spot midway through the game. And Perez wants to make certain as he goes out and talks with Bauer.
Yeah, I think they both realize what you just said. This is a big spot in the game with the tying run at the plate.
Judge 34 home runs, 75 runs batted in. 1 swing could tie this game. And the pitch. Missed outside. Dialed it up to 97 on the count 3-2. That releases the runners.
Off the corner. Wouldn't chase it. And it's good 6-7 inches outside.
Gardner will go from second. Frasier from first. Judge at the plate. 3-2 count, 2 outs. Time call. Runners go. Pitch is high, and he walked him to load the bases for Gary Sanchez. So good eye by Judge.
Bauer has walked 2 hitters tonight. Both times it's been Judge. Yeah, that one didn't have much of a chance to hit the strike zone.
And a trip to the mound. Mickey Callaway. Trying to settle down Bauer as he has to face Gary Sanchez. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. So the Yankee offense starting to stir just a little bit. The home run by Todd Frazier the other way put them on the board. Then a single by Torres, a single by Gardner. Frazier hits a chopper to Urshela. who throws out Torreyes at home. He reaches on the fielder's choice, and then a walk to Judge. The bases are loaded, 2 outs for Sanchez. Sanchez fouled out to Urshela in the first, and then a fly ball right in the fourth. And he moved Geyer back on that fly ball in the fourth. Get into the air, the wind's going to help you on a fly ball that way. Breaking ball strike. Nick Goody and Tyler Olson is up. Strike 2. You see that Sanchez did not love that call. He's in an 0-2 hole.
Bauer with 2 consecutive breaking balls and got the call on the second.
Gardner at third, Frasier at second, Judge is at first. Good speed on the bases for the Yanks. And the cleanup hitter Gary Sanchez with 17 homers and 52 ribbies. He's at the plate. Indians lead 4-1. Fouled away, still 0-2.
Another hook.
Todd Frasier started the inning with the home run with 1 out. Now the Yankees looking to do serious damage, get back into this. The 0-2 just got a piece to stay alive. Another off-speed pitch.
It looked like he left the strike zone somewhat to foul this one off. Yep, he tried to bounce a breaking ball and get him to chase it. He did, but Sanchez able to spoil it. Side angle look.
And the pitch. Goes with the fastball off the plate. And Sanchez did not offer. Count 1-2.
That was a fastball. I think he was kind of just showing it to him. Trying to set up another breaking ball. 30 pitches this inning.
Swing and a miss, he got him. A breaking ball out of the strike zone, and Sanchez chases and strikes out. 1 run, 3 hits, and the bases are left loaded. We're halfway through, Yankees down 4-1. August 25th for Star Wars Night. There'll be a special Star Wars theme throughout the night and appearances by some of your favorite Star Wars characters. In addition, the first 18,000 guests in attendance receive a special Darth Vader Yankees knit cap. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, the Yankees clubhouse shops, or you can call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. The Yankees had a big opportunity there in the top of the 5th inning. Sanchez strikes out on a curveball out of the strike zone. Leaves the bases loaded. GMC scoreboard shows you 4-1 Indians. And the top of the order against Jaime Garcia, starting with Francisco Lindor. And a strike.
Yeah, I mentioned this before. I know hitting's not easy after doing it for so many years. But your plate discipline has to be at its highest with runners in scoring position. And Sanchez twice chased pitches out of the strike zone. And he did it last night, too. Best pitches to hit are the ones that are in the strike zone. Chad Green is up in the Yankee bullpen.
Fly ball, left field. Clint Frasier will put it away. 1 down. One and 0 to Geyer. Geyer 1 for 2, scored a run. Pitch is high.
I mentioned it. How many times Geyer had been hit by pitches last year? 31 times. Since 2015, he's been hit 61 times. And I think back to, remember Ron Hunt?
Yeah.
He got hit 50-something times in 1 year. He turned it into an art form. He would stand right on top of the plate, blouse out his uniform. So, you know, every once in a while, just nicked his uniform, he'd go down to first base. Really would tick the other pitchers off. And then sometimes it would tick them off so badly, if he wanted to get, they would really drill him. He used to wear this guard underneath his jersey, his uniform top, a rubber guard that would protect his ribs.
And that was before that was done. You couldn't wear that protection on your arm.
And I couldn't play ball like that. Just, you know, that was part of his game. And what he really did to tick pitchers off after he get hit, he picked the ball up and flip it back to him. They
He did that to Bob Gibson?
Only once.
There's Michael Brantley.
I remember Tom Seaver hitting him pretty good once.
One and 0. Brantley 1 for 2, wrapped into a double play in the first, RBI single in the third. Just a single and the run scored on the E9.
Yeah, he didn't
get the RBI.
No.
Runner goes. Strike, throw to second. And Didi did not handle the throw in the dirt, so a stolen base for Geyer.
Second stolen base of the year. Got a pretty good jump. It looked like Sanchez had a chance to get him, but the throw came up a little short and Didi couldn't handle it. Ball skips, Hits the heel of the glove. And clean catch. He would have been out.
Inside, 2-1. Grounded and past to diving Gregorius into left field. Geyer scores. It's an RBI single for Brantley, and it's 5-1 Cleveland.
Yeah, there's that RBI you were talking about, the stolen base by Geyer. Puts him in the scoring position. Brantley delivers. Every time I see Michael Brantley, I think of his dad, Mickey, who at one time was a hitting coach for the Toronto Blue Jays. His nickname is Smooth, and that was a smooth piece of hitting. Going the other way, finds the hole. Here comes Geyer with run number 5 for Cleveland.
Here's Jose Ramirez, and that one gets away from Sanchez. Brantley's at second, makes the turn, and Sanchez retrieves. Another one in the dirt. That'll be a wild pitch on Garcia.
Well, you can see that Garcia tries to keep the ball down. He's bounced a number of them tonight. This one, Sanchez could not stop. Looked like it might have got a piece of his throwing hand. As Brantley moves down to second. And effectively takes away the ground ball double play. And I think that got a piece of his bare hand. And the Yankees are going to come out and check on him. Taking a look at it, looked like he trying to get it with the glove hand, of course, but got his bare hand too close to the glove. Yep. Took it maybe off the wrist. Yeah. And it certainly doesn't feel good. Looks like he's nodding his head, which good sign. Says he's okay after a brief delay.
Two-1 on Ramirez. The wild pitch puts another runner in scoring position. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Three and one on Ramirez.
Yeah, there's a base open, but Edwin Encarnacion is on deck. The only problem is he's been struggling lately. So if you're going to pick one of the two, you try and go after Encarnacion here. And also you're setting up a possibility of a double play if Ramirez gets on with the base on balls. You don't want to make too fat a pitch here. He's been hot all season long from both sides of the plate.
Three and two now on Ramirez.
having a great year. He's going to get some MVP votes. Hitting over 320 from both sides of the plate. Tough to strike out. Only 3 strikeouts his last 75 plate appearances. He puts the bat on the ball.
Grounded and grabbed there by Headley. He'll step on the bag as Brantley moves to third. And that is going to do it for Jaime Garcia. I don't think Girardi has signaled just yet. Oh, that means he's going. So Jaime Garcia goes 4 2/3 in his Yankee debut, and the Yankees go to the bullpen to try to hold it right here. MLB.tv, every night, every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live. Plus, get a free subscription at Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. A lot of people on their phones. As Chad Green warms up for the Yankees. Now he's ready. It'll be Green against Encarnacion. This will be his 25th game. Made 1 start. Numbers are very good. Seems we've found a home in the Yankee bullpen. Runner at third, 2 outs. Green on a relief of Jaime Garcia. Powered it right by him. 0-1.
And a couple of numbers stand out for Green. 62 strikeouts in 44 1/3 innings, only 12 walks, and only 21 hits allowed. Here's the numbers on Garcia tonight.
And that one gets away from Sanchez, and that allows Brantley to score. 6-1 Indians.
And this is going to be a wild pitch. Brantley moves up on a couple of wild pitches in the dirt. Sanchez gets a piece of it, but not enough. Ball breaks away. Cleveland has another run.
So 1-2. High pop up, shallow center. Gregorius makes the call on the catch for the final out. 2 runs on just 1 hit. Nobody left on base. 6-1 Indians. Cleveland as the Yankees take on the Indians in Game 3 right here at Progressive Field. Our coverage begins at 6:30 with the Chevy pregame. Then we're back for the call right here on Yes and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. The Yankees have some catching up to do as they're down 6-1 as we head to the 6th inning. D.D. Gregorius will start it off against Trevor Bauer, who worked out of a bases-loaded jam in the 5th by striking out Gary Sanchez. Gregorius is 1 for 2. He's singled in the 4th inning. Grounded to short his first time up. Joe Smith is up.
Recently acquired from Toronto.
Big cut by Gregorius, 1-2.
Well, the Yankees made Bauer work hard last inning. Let's see if there's any residual effect here in the 6th.
Swing and a miss. Gregorius strikes out to start the 6th.
Let's see how far this drops out of the zone. Yep. Down and in, out of the strike zone. He's usually pretty quick in there, but I think even if he hit that one, he would have pulled it foul.
There's Matt Holliday, who was up with runners on 1st and 2nd, 2 outs in the 4th, and fouled out to Santana. Takes a breaking ball inside. So he's 0 for 2 tonight. And his average at 231. Grounded in the hole. Beautiful play by Urshela. Fires to first, and he gets Holliday. He's putting on a show at 3rd.
Oh, we saw Urshela go to his right and now to his left. Well, just a headlong dive. They're diving. They saw Lindor dive behind him, and the throw was on time at first base. Throwing from his knees. Giovanni Urshela. As Michael said, putting on a clinic at third base tonight.
Just got him.
Just in time.
Here's Headley, 0 for 2. Pitch outside, 1-0. Driven to center field and deep. Going back, Jackson. Still back. It's going to be over his head and up against the wall. And Headley picks up a 2-out double.
Pitch gets too much of the plate. And lately, Headley's been known to put a charge into these. Short hops the wall. And Headley with another double. That's his 26th double of the year. He leads the Yankees in that category. 26 two-base hits.
So here's Todd Frasier. A home run the other way in the 5th inning, a solo shot. He's 2 for 2, also single in the 3rd. Goody and Smith up in the Indians bullpen. Two.
Next pitch will be number 100 for Bauer. Two pitchers in the bullpen should be ready if needed this inning.
Pitch inning in the 5th. That's why he's at the 100 mark right now. They made him work. They didn't really get enough on the board out of that inning. 1-2. Swing and a miss. He gets Frasier, and that will do it in the 6th. No runs a hit. No errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 6-1 Cleveland.
Fan Sunday, catch a rock and roll edition of the WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper gets a tour of the Hall of Fame here in Cleveland. Then talks about the team's trade deadline transactions. It's all new Sunday at 5, only on Yes. Meredith and Joe had a chance to go to the Rock and Roll Museum. And how'd you like it, Meredith?
It was great, Kenny, and I bet you had no idea that Joe Girardi is a big Rolling Stones fan. He's been trying to go to a concert for a while, finally had tickets in Vegas, and they canceled the show.
Oh, my goodness. I did see him years ago, Steel Wheels tour. And, you know, sometimes you can't always get what you want.
I see what you did there, Kenny. We also walked by the Metallica exhibit, and Joe immediately said, man, that reminds me of Mariano Rivera. Metallica actually played at Yankee Stadium, he was telling the curator, and she couldn't believe it. Pretty cool moment for, oh, there you go. There I am. Here's some shots from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. As I was saying, some pretty cool stuff. They took us back in the vault, too, Kenny.
Oh.
Some of the stuff that performers wore on the stage, including those boots right there. Those are from the Kiss drummer Jimi Hendrix's boots as well, and some of the Jackson 5 stuff that Michael Jackson wore.
I could see you sporting those boots. Huh?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Maybe for Halloween. I'll be like 6'7" in those, Kenny.
6-1 Indians lead the Yankees. We're in the bottom of the 6th. And that game is at the post-game show on Sunday, the Joe Girardi Show.
Rock and Roll Museum here, not far from the Hall of Fame, I should say, not far from the Lake Erie.
Very close to the new Cleveland Browns Stadium.
Yeah, which used to be the site of Municipal Stadium, where the Indians and the Browns both play. 80,000 seat stadium.
And usually very empty.
Yeah.
More so when the Indians played. The Browns would draw.
You know, I think back to a line that Greg Nettles had back in the 70s. The Yankees actually opened up in Cleveland, and they had a sellout crowd. I think it was close to 80,000. And Greg Nettles said they should have that many people. They gave away 300,000 tickets.
3-2. Swing and a miss. Santana down on strikes. You know what happened on this day in 1983, Kenny?
Oh, no.
Dave Winfield, warming up in the outfield before the 5th inning in Toronto, killed a seagull. Ended up getting arrested. And Billy Martin was the manager of the Yankees at that time and said that Winfield did not do it on purpose. And his quote was, I mean, come on, it's the first time he's hit the cutoff man all year. The 0-1.
You mean
1-1?
They didn't arrest him during the game. It was after the game.
After
right?
the game.
Yeah, all right.
Held up the whole team. I believe it was a getaway day.
Yeah. First of all, you got to go through customs anyway. Yeah? I'm sure Billy Martin was thrilled at all of that.
Yeah, he was not happy. That was 96 miles an hour. The fast pitch speed analytics brought to you by Fios. Strike 3. 2 away. As Jackson down looking. Also on this date in 2007, Kenny, Alex Rodriguez hit his 500th home run. And then exactly 3 years later on this day, Alex Rodriguez hit his 600th home run.
Don't you wish you'd gotten to 700?
I think he wishes.
Well, I mean,
4 away.
4 away. Just off the corner, and you can see that Chad Green has some kind of arm. His fastball 96, 97. Another one of those prominent arms in the Yankee bullpen.
Fly ball, right field, long run for Judge toward the line, and he can't make the play.
Got to meet some fans up close and personal. You know, you're going full speed. You know the fence is approaching. And Judge reaches out, can't come up with it. He crosses into foul territory.
Wonder if it goes through his mind what happened to Dustin Fowler in Chicago. Similar height to the fence and running full bore, and just wrecked his knee. Since traded to the A's and the Sonny Gray deal. One-two, swing and a miss. Big inning for Chad Green as he strikes out the side. Indians go down in order. We're going to go to the 7th. Week is coming to yes as the Yankees play 10 straight games against the Red Sox and the Mets. It all begins next Friday with a crucial battle against Boston right here on Yes. Well, Ronald Torreyes will lead off here in the 7th, and he swings at the first pitch, misses. 0-1. Trevor Bauer is still in there. Cadillac scoreboard 6-1 Indians over the Yankees. Remember, Bauer just 6 of 20 starts, quality starts. So at one point, Kenny, you've got to say you can't give credit to the pitchers all the time. Yeah. Now yesterday, Corey Kluber is the Cy Young Award winner. But before that, Anibal Sanchez and Jordan Zimmerman, and now Trevor Bauer completely shutting you down. It's got to be the offense more than the pitch.
Well, all 3 of those pitchers have ERAs over 5. As Torreyes strikes out here, leading off the 7th. And there are stretches during the year where teams go cold. You just hope that somebody pops out, it gets a hit at the right time, gives you an opportunity to win a game. Now, the Yankees had some opportunities tonight. Once again, they just haven't come through.
Back to the top of the order, and Brett Gardner.
There there are there's other ways you can win games. I mean, one of your own pitchers can have a game where it's a no chance game for the other team, and you can win it 1-0. But right now, kind of cold offensively. What gets them going? Sometimes a broken bat single at the right time. You get the feeling that maybe things are going to go our way. Doesn't always have to be a big home run in the right spot. Even just a little dinker of a hit that scores some runs.
Last 5 games, Yankee offense hitting 181.
Now the big number is the 171 with runners in scoring position.
Chopped to second, Ramirez. 2 away.
Which means they're not capitalizing on the very many opportunities. The limited opportunities they are getting, they're not getting it done.
For the Yankees stepping in, left-hander, Frasier.
Got to bring up Clint Frasier. Frasier is 0 for 3.
Yeah, I think of some of the things you hear over the years. They say, well, you're never as good as you think you are when you're in a long winning streak, and you're never as bad as you think you are when you're not playing well. Even the best teams lose 60 games a year, at least 60.
It's amazing how suddenly it turned. Trade deadline Monday. The Yankees win that game on Monday. Everything seemed great. They were on their way. And then somebody pulled the plug.
So I mentioned the 60 losses. You're just trying to delay 60 losses as long as you can.
One, 2. Bauer heading toward the dugout. Thought that was strike 3.
Yeah, you get the feeling 112 pitches. This is going to be his last hitter. Those 2 pitchers are standing in the bullpen. They're ready to come in.
Skied the other way and out of play.
Bauer has thrown as many as 125 in a game. That was way back on May the 8th at Toronto.
Swing and a miss. Got him on the breaking ball. And the Yankees go down in order. Time for the 7th inning stretch here in Cleveland. Yankees trail this one 6-1. Game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 6-5-0, 1-7-1. Jaime Garcia in his Yankee debut went 4 2/3, 6 runs, 5 of them earned. Walk 4, not good. Trevor Bauer went 7. And you see the offense. Yankee offense is Todd Frazier's home run. And Chad Green deals a strike to Urshela, who certainly made his presence felt at third base defensively.
Mentioned Urshela is from Colombia, South America. And I think back to the late 90s, I think it was 97 when the Indians were in the World Series and they lost it. And the player that got the winning hit was Edgar Renteria. He's from Colombia. And Urshela on defense, every bit as good as Renteria was, and maybe even better. Great play. Touchdown Torres at the plate. Then going to his left. Throwing from his knees. He gets Matt Holliday.
Line drive off the glove of Headley, and it trickles into right field. A base hit for Urshela.
Yeah, I think back to that World Series. I actually worked that World Series with Gary Thorne for Major League Baseball International. And the games we did here in Cleveland, was you look at the Cadillac scoreboard, 6-1. One of those games here was in a driving snowstorm. And as I'm doing the game, I'm thinking, man, this baseball season is way too long. I mean, it felt like January. And then the series continued down in Miami. It was won 7 games. And I'm thinking, man, why are we stopping now? This is really good. It's 80 degrees.
Make it best of 9.
Oh, production meetings were out by the pool. It was great. I mean, John Moore was our director. How much better can you get better than that?
You can't really get better than
that.
No,
you can't.
Oh, 1 on Lindor. 0-2. One and 2. Lindor's walk lined out to Gregorius. A beautiful play by Didi. And then a fly ball to left.
Let him have a hitting streak going.
13 in a row. Swing and a miss. He's down on strikes. Tips the ball into the glove of Sanchez. 1 away.
4 strikeouts for Green. Adding to those impressive strikeout totals.
Here's Geyer, 1 for 2. A walk, a stolen base, 2 runs scored. And Green gets him to swing and miss 0-1. Game 2 of a 4-game series. And you heard Bob, Jack, and John talking about how before yesterday's game, people were thinking this could be a playoff preview, and it has just looked lopsided for these first 2 games. The Yankee offense not there. Their defense has really been shaky in both games, and you can't give a team like the Indians, the American League champions, free base runners. As Geyer down looking. 5 strikeouts for Chad Green.
You also have 2 pretty good pitchers coming up in the last 2 games, Salazar and Carrasco for Cleveland. Salazar tomorrow night.
And then Sunday afternoon.
He's already got his game face on.
Pitch to Brantley. Well, the matchups tomorrow, it's Jordan Montgomery against Salazar. we'll have the game on Yes. First pitch right around 7:10. And those are the numbers. Our coverage begins at 6:30. And then Sunday afternoon, Luis Severino against Carlos Carrasco. There's a strike. Crowd of 34,466, and that is considered a sellout here. 6th sellout of the season. And they're saying that tomorrow is also sold out. Now they cut down the capacity of this ballpark by cutting down the right field upper deck, especially when the crowd stopped coming. So it holds about 35. That one is ripped down the right field line. Foul. There was a stretch here where you couldn't get a ticket to this ballpark. They had 455 consecutive sellouts.
And that in the late 90s? Yeah, that's it's a tribute to the fans here in Cleveland. Great teams. And it battled the Yankees in the playoffs.
That's over 5 straight years of sellouts. 6-1 Indians over the Yankees, bottom of the 7th. Grounded left side, grabbed there by Frasier, and he flips to Gregorius, and that will do it. In the 7th, no runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We take it to the 8th, 6-1 Indians. The 8th, Austin Jackson moves from center to left, and Bradley Zimmer takes over in center. New pitcher is Joe Smith. This is his 2nd tour of duty with the Indians. Pitched for them from 2009 through 2013, had an under 3 ERA during that stretch, and they just got him from Toronto, and combined this will be his 40th game, 3-0, 3.11 ERA. 52 strikeouts in 37 2/3 innings.
Yeah, it looks like he was doing a pretty good job for John Gibbons up in Toronto.
So Trevor Bauer, 7 strong innings. Allowed 7 hits and 1 run. Here's Judge, singled and walked twice. 0-1. Hyundai scoreboard 6-1 Indians.
Well, the Indians bullpen, as I mentioned before, best bullpen ERA in the American League at 2.90, and now they had a veteran in Smith who deals a breaking ball for a strike. Olsen and Shaw warming up.
Indians have the best bullpen ERA at 2.90. Yankees are third. Red Sox right between them at 2.97. The average is over 4. The way the game is played now, you have to have a good bullpen. Pitchers just don't give you the length they used to, so you've got to get usually 9 outs out of the pen. Tommy Kahnle up for the Yankees as Judge swings and misses. Goes down on strikes.
Got the count full. A little spinner up there, looked like a little cutter. Joe Smith's delivery can be difficult for right-handers.
Here's Gary Sanchez. Certainly had a big opportunity in the 5th inning. Bases loaded, 2 outs, struck out on a breaking ball in the dirt from Bauer to end the inning.
And that might have been the key offensive spot in the game for the Yankees. And just didn't happen.
Bauer had 7 strikeouts against the Yankees. And 2 walks, both of them to Judge. So he gets his 7th quality start out of 21. Strike 3. Sanchez done looking. Gary 0 for 4 tonight with 2 strikeouts.
Joe Smith kind of a cross-up pitcher. You can see that fastball dart back over the outside corner with some movement. And Terry Francona can play the matchup game here.
So the lefty Gregorius due up. He'll bring in a lefty to face him. Playoffs as David Villa and the boys in blue charge up the Eastern Conference standings. Catch the next match on Sunday, August 20th at 6, presented by Etihad Airways, as NYCFC takes on the New England Revolution, right here on and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Tyler Olson comes on to face Gregorius.
Former Yankee. One game with the Yankees back in 2016, last year. That was last year. The Yankees got Olson from the Dodgers along with Ronald Torres. For Rob Seguin.
The 0-1. Fly ball, left field, coming on Jackson, still coming. He's going to dunk in for base hit as Gregorius gets a 2-out single.
Indeed, he got that off the end of the bat, so the ball didn't carry. And not far enough for Jackson to get to it, or too deep for Lindor to get to it.
So here's Holiday, robbed of a hit his last time up. Diving play to the glove side at third base by Urshela. One and 0. 6-1 Indians. Two and 0. Three and 0.
With the Yankees down, guaranteed take sign here, trying to get men on base.
Strike. Three and 2, so that's going to release Gregorius at first. 3-2 and 2 outs.
Santana at first should play behind the runner, but it doesn't look like he's going to do it here.
Swing and a miss. And Holiday down on strike. So 3 more Yankees strike out. 10 on the game. We go to the bottom of the 8th. For the WB Mason postgame on Yes, as our studio team breaks down all of the action in tonight's game. Plus, get thoughts from Joe Girardi on the manager's report. It's all right here on Yes. Well, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Indians 6, Yankees 1. The crowd here, a sellout crowd, 6th of the season, as Tommy Kahnle warms up, was just very upset as it was announced that the planned fireworks show at the end of the game has been canceled because of sustained high winds. And they said it's canceled for the safety of the fans. Obviously, you shoot the fireworks in the air and the wind is blowing so hard from left to right, you just don't know where they will go. So the Indians canceled it. The crowd did not like it. So the only fireworks they'll see are the 6 runs that the Indians have given them so far. Jose Ramirez against the hard-throwing Tommy Kahnle.
Yeah, another power arm out of the bullpen. Good job by Chad Green tonight.
Foul back. Hyundai scoreboard, 6-1 Indians. Back.
98 miles an hour. We mentioned the impressive strikeout numbers for Green on the year. The same thing applies to Kahnle. 71 strikeouts in 43 of the 3rd innings. Jeez.
That's punched out to left field. It is going to be a base hit. Ramirez makes a big turn. He's going for 2, and he will make it.
Told you he's tough to strike out. Kind of just punched that one out to left field, and it dropped in front of Frasier for a 2-base hit. Here comes Frasier. And there goes Ramirez. Running hard right out of the box. Looked like he almost had a misstep around first base, but somehow got a foot on it and heads for second. And having some kind of year. Frasier realized he couldn't get him. He leads the league in doubles, I believe. Yeah.
Here's Edwin Encarnacion.
Let me double check that.
1-0. Strike. 1-1.
Ramirez with 34 doubles does lead the league.
Kenny, let me give you a number that I think is got to be a great concern to the Yankees. So after Holiday struck out in the 8th inning, we'll watch this pitch first. The 2-1. Driven deep to left field. Frasier back. Turning. Looking. It's off the top of the wall. Ramirez scores. Encarnacion with an RBI double at 7-1 Cleveland.
Second run batted into the night for Edwin Encarnacion. Of his 15th double of the year, plays Ramirez. And it's been just about all Cleveland tonight. Didn't miss by much. I think the wind that we're talking about going from left to right kept this one from going into the seats.
So 2 ribbies for Encarnacion tonight. That's 64. Anyway, here's the number I was talking about, Kenny. So Holiday's 0 for 4 tonight. Since coming up the DL with the viral problem, he's 11 for 81. He's one of the important bats in the order. Now he's been dropped to 6, but he's your designated hitter, and he just hasn't been able to hit.
Early in the year, he was the cleanup hitter.
Oh my goodness, he was so important to the team, and obviously he's out there working. He's trying to do it, but you wonder, did that stint on the DL sap him of energy or power or whatever, because he's too good a hitter over the course of his career to be this ineffective for this long. Lined into right center field. On the run is Gardner, and he makes the play. Nice play by Brett Gardner for the first out to retire Santana.
Yeah, when that was first hit, it looked like it was headed for the gap in right center, but Gardner closed quickly. He's playing a step or 2 towards left center. Man, look at the Jets. Turned them on, comes up with the play. And Encarnacion went halfway. He was thinking the ball was going to get in the gap. He didn't tag up, so he doesn't advance. Excellent play by Brett Gardner in center field.
Jackson takes outside. I told you that Jackson, such a good hitter against left-handed pitchers. He's over 300 against righties as well. So he's having a real good year. Signed a 1-year deal with the Indians before the season.
Yeah, he was a non-roster invitee to spring training. Had to make good. Eventually went to the minors, and then got recalled. Mention the fact that he's got some experience. Started out with the Yankees. And he made a catch in Boston the other night.
One for the Angels.
Oh my goodness, was that a play?
Gets the sign. And strike 3. Jackson down looking, and we'll be looking now at that catch he made in Boston.
Yeah, I think it was Hanley Ramirez who hit the ball. It looked like it was going to be a home run into the bullpen, but Austin Jackson had other ideas. Wow.
Almost flipped and stood. That's how amazing it was.
Hanley Ramirez couldn't believe it.
Woes all around. Now you make a play like that in a World Series game, and it becomes part of forever.
You're exactly right.
Got 1-0 on Roberto Perez. Hit shortly and backhanded by Frasier. A long throw gets him for the final out. But the Indians had a run on a couple of doubles, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 9th inning coming up for the Yankees. They've got some rallying to do. Bottom third of the order coming up. Drive of the game, Kenny.
Let's go back. But Austin Jackson at the plate in the second inning rips one down the third base line. Carlos Santana sets sail for home all the way from first base. Going to be a close play, but he's in there by an eyelash. And that is our Land Rover drive of the game.
Now we go to the ninth inning, and the Yankees are down by 6, 7-1. It'll be the bottom third of the order. Gonzalez takes over for Ramirez at second base, and taking over on the mound is Brian Shaw. And you see his numbers. Chase Headley will start it off. He is 1 for 3, doubled his last time up. 0-1. Chop foul, grabbed by Tony Pena.
Tony popular in this town, played for the Indians for 3 seasons. We talked about those Cleveland teams of the late 90s.
Still 0-2.
That was powerhouse ball club. Jim Thome, Albert Bell,
Sandy Alomar Jr., Carlos Baerga, little speed with Kenny Lofton.
Manny Ramirez too.
They fell short in the World Series. They had a lead going into the ninth inning. Jose Mesa could not hold on. In fact, this team has been in existence since 1901. They have just 2 world championships, in 1920 and the most frequent one, or the most recent one, should I say, 1948. That one is looped into center field. It is going to dunk in for a base hit for Headley. So he has 2 hits tonight. Also, Kenny, they probably have 2 of the most heartbreaking Game 7s of all time. Last year against the Cubs, and then the one in '97.
Yeah, when they had the lead going into the 9th, the Marlins tied it. And I mentioned Edgar Renteria's World Series winning hit for the Marlins.
Here's Todd Frasier, his home run, the Yankees' only run tonight, and there's a strike. So Todd looking to break out of his slump. He was 1 for 19 coming in, but a single and a home run tonight and 3 at-bats. Grounded to short. There's one. On to first. It's a double play. 6-4-3, 2 away.
This play sent up by Lindor, making an accurate throw to the second baseman Gonzalez, who's taken over. From down on one knee, hits him about belt high, and he turns it over for the double play. Might not be quite as sharp as Vizquel and Alomar did it back in the day, but Lindor has a chance to be one of the stars of baseball. In fact, he already is, if you ask me. One of the young stars of the game, just ahead of Frasier, touching first base for the double play.
Yankees down to their final out as Torreyes takes a pitch low and away. 1-0. Yankees about hit the Indians 9-8, but the Indians have outscored them 7-1. the pitch. Hit softly past Shaw. Lindor fields, holds onto it. It's an infield single for Torreyes as the Yankees stay alive.
Second hit for Torreyes in the game, who's hit over 300 since the All-Star break. Not really stung in any sense of the word, but hit softly enough that he could beat it out once it got by Shaw. No play for Lindor, just holds on to it.
And that's going to bring up Brett Gardner. Yankee center fielder is 1 for 4. He singled in the 5th inning. They do not hold Torreyes at first. He takes off. The pitch is high. Torreyes takes second on defensive indifference. That keeps him out of a force. Gives him a hard hit ball in the hole or up the middle. Seven, 8-0 for the Indians. 1-10-1 for the Yankees. Indians have left 4 on base. The Yankees have left 8 on base. One. 2-1. Shaw deals. Grounded up the middle and through for a base hit. Torreyes will round third. He's coming home. He'll score. It's an RBI single for Brett Gardner, and the Yankees are still alive. Indians now lead 7-2.
And Gardner picks up his second hit of the game. Remember, we mentioned a 14-game hitting streak broken. That doesn't mean he's not hot anymore. Just start another one tonight.
49th ribby for Gardner to go along with his 19 home runs. Here's Clint Frasier. He is 0 for 4 tonight. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. Struck out twice. Fouled away. Down to their final strike. Frasier 4 for his last 26. What remains of the sellout crowd, most of them standing. And the 0-2. Fouled into the upper deck, first base side. The pitch. Grounded in the hole. Grabbed by Urshela. He gets the force, and that will do it. As the Indians win this one by a score of 7-2. So the Yankees have now lost 4 in a row after their hot streak at home. They'll try to straighten things out tomorrow night. But first, we go to the studio. Bob, Jack, and John will set the table for the rest of the night.